If you're looking to improve your aim, then make sure to check out Control Freak and use the code OGXRAYZ to get 10% off all the products. Link in the description below. Yo guys, what's up? It's XRAYZ. Welcome back to another Call of Duty 2018 video. Now, in today's video, I actually wanted to do something a little bit different, guys. I actually wanted to talk about all the little different things that we've heard or seen when it comes to Call of Duty 2018 or Black Ops 4, whichever way you want to refer to it as we're going to be talking about little changes, little stuff that might be hinting, and just any kind of info we have so far. So it's everything we know about Treyarch and Call of Duty 2018. So hopefully you guys do go on to enjoy the video. If you guys do, make sure you guys smash a big like on the video. And if you guys are new to the channel, first video you guys are watching, if you enjoy the video, want to see even more content like this, live content, news, informative stuff, obviously make sure you guys do subscribe and you turn on notifications by hitting that little bell icon next to the subscribe button. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump into the information. We're going to be going through, I believe it's about 5 or 6 different pieces of info that we have gotten over the course of these last couple of years here. And some of this stuff is pretty big, other stuff is like insinuated, and some of this stuff is just kind of under the radar. So maybe some of you guys have seen some of this info, maybe you guys haven't seen some of these other ones, and it's all related to Treyarch or Call of Duty 2018, from rumors to leaks to even staff changes. So let's go ahead and jump into the information. Now, first of all, this was actually about a week after Infinite Warfare came out, so Treyarch was moving quick. Now, the information we got, and I'll have a link to the video where I go in depth with all of these different little bits of news here, but basically Jason Blundell was promoted to the co-head of Treyarch, which is actually pretty insane. Now, for you guys that don't know who Jason Blundell is, Jason Blundell is the person who's in charge of zombies and campaigns, more specifically, or more well known as the guy who made Mob of the Dead, who made Origins. He made a ton of zombies maps that a lot of the community enjoys, and obviously he made the zombies in Call of Duty Black Ops 3, also dabbled around in the campaign and then kind of shifted over and focused a lot on zombies. So it's very interesting that he was promoted from being like the lead of zombies all the way up to co-head of Treyarch. Now, what this means now is that he is going to be on the same level as David Vonderhaar, who is the almighty god of the Treyarch domain. Now, basically, obviously we all know David Vonderhaar. He's very active on social media. He's always tweeting out, whether it's not about the game and it's just about life himself, he's always tweeting out. He's a very active person. So seeing him kind of now be at the same level with Jason Blundell, who's more of a mysterious dude. He doesn't really show up unless it's on trailers or, you know, when he's talking about DLC, or whether he's like sometimes occasionally cameoing on a zombies video. So Jason Blundell is usually pretty secretive. He's not very open when it comes to Twitter. He doesn't even have a Twitter, so he's like AFK when it comes to zombies and communication. So it's pretty interesting that he was promoted to co-head of Treyarch. Hopefully this means maybe we'll see a Twitter account from him, because I would love to see more openness and discussion when it comes to zombies or just anything really from Jason Blundell. He's such an enigma, but maybe some of the community enjoys that. So David Blundell, so Jason Blundell now promoted up to the same level as David Vonderhaar, and I thought it was pretty interesting. It happened literally the week after Infinite Warfare came out, so that was pretty big news. More info on that in case you guys want to see the full details on where that story came, how people knew about it, will be linked in the description below. Alright, so the next piece of pretty big news that we got was actually almost a year later. So on September 11th, 2017, we had the first bit of info that we got for rumors, for leaks, for speculation for Call of Duty Black Ops 4. And this is actually coming because of a job listing posting from Treyarch themselves. So this information has some credibility because this is Treyarch themselves who are looking for a specific person. So again, if you want to see even more info on that, I'll have a link to that video in the description below. So to give you guys a quick recap of that, Treyarch had a brand new job listing opening basically for someone to come on board to work at Treyarch, but they needed to have a few requisites. So basically they needed to be experienced in modern era weaponry. So this person needed to be pretty good with modern weapons. So this led to a huge outburst and huge hype, people saying, yo, Treyarch is going to be making a modern era Call of Duty. This job listing pretty much hints at that, and it's going to be a modern era Call of Duty. And this is actually very, very interesting because Treyarch has never done a modern era Call of Duty. They did World at War, which was past era. They did Black Ops 1, which is technically also past era. It was the most modern one we had, or close to modern. It took place during the Vietnam War. / the Cold War. So it was like the closest we had to modern, but it was still like older weaponry. After that, they actually jumped into the future. They went all the way to Black Ops 2 in the year 2020 or 2025. And then after that, we had Call of Duty Black Ops 3, which was an even further jump into the future. So we've never really had a modern Call of Duty, you know, like a Modern Warfare or Modern Warfare 2, MWR. We've never really had a modern era Call of Duty. So it'll be interesting to see what Treyarch does if it is in fact a modern era Call of Duty, which that job listing back in September of 2017 kind of hinted at. So we'll definitely see, but now we got a couple of pieces here. There was staff changes. Fast forward a year later, there's a job listing opening for modern era experience, and we'll definitely see what happens with that. So kind of going back to talking about David Vonderhaar, I talked about him a little bit earlier and how, you know, Jason Blundell, pretty big enigma, doesn't really have a Twitter account, doesn't communicate pretty much outside of trailers and talking to YouTubers every once in a while. Well, basically, David Vonderhaar is the exact opposite. He's like super open, always talking, he's always on Twitter, and to the point where sometimes he even tweets out about the development of his Call of Duty or this next Call of Duty. I remember a few months back he was talking about, like, you know, not really talking about actual systems or actual things that are going on, but, you know, talking about office politics and what goes on behind the scenes. So like, for instance, he was talking about how, you know, he would have an idea and he would take it to the team and then they would tear it apart, but he would still want to push it, stuff like that. Obviously not hinting what the actual game is, but, you know, he would always give us like an inside look. Very open person. Well, David Vonderhaar back on October 2nd actually went MIA. He was gone. His Twitter account lost its avatar, lost its background, all of the tweets were missing, and he stopped following basically everyone on Twitter. This actually raised a ton of red flags. Everyone in the community was freaking out. They're like, yo, David Vonderhaar has left the building. He's out of Treyarch. He's not going to work there anymore. And this was all stemming from years before, where David Vonderhaar himself was pretty much saying that, you know, he didn't know if this was going to be his last rodeo, if this was going to be his last game and he was going to move on. You know, there was always that speculation. So when he disappeared off Twitter, again, pretty scary stuff, that his avatar, his background, his tweets, following nobody, they thought that he was either hacked or he had left Call of Duty completely. Maybe he left Treyarch to work somewhere else. So this was actually very strange. And again, David Vonderhaar, very open, tweets out all the time, very active, and, you know, to see him gone was pretty scary and very confusing. Well, after that, 2 days later, after everyone started freaking out and pretty much everyone started talking about it, David Vonderhaar showed up again on Twitter. He had a new avatar, which was kind of like this like weird cross, you know, shifting curve thing, like a highway sign. And then he basically mentioned that he wanted to get off the grid, he wanted to disappear, put his head down to the gridiron and just kind of work and focus, and he just kind of disappeared because of that. So still doesn't explain deleting all the tweets, doesn't explain him following nobody. I guess he just didn't want any distractions, but also maybe possibly, like we said, that he likes to be open and talks about the development side. Maybe he tweeted something he wasn't supposed to and he deleted it, because this has happened rather recently, and we'll talk about that here, because that's the most modern piece of news we got, the most recent piece of news we got. But still, it was pretty scary when he disappeared and then came back. And since then, he actually did disappear for a couple of weeks since that, when he came back officially. And then after that, he started getting more consistent, to the point where recently I think he's been even tweeting every single day. Obviously not about Call of Duty, but, you know, just real life stuff and like racing and motorcycles. And I've seen him talking about that, but he's way more active than he was back in October, where everyone was freaking out and he had to reassure everyone that he was good, he was still working on the game, just wanted to focus. So I thought that was a pretty crucial piece of news. All right, so following that, about a week after that, after everyone freaked out about David Vonderhaar, we got information from an analyst who is someone who, you know, they focus on the trend, they see, you know, the way that the actual whole community is going. Basically, they're experts in their field. Well, this guy said that Black Ops 4 was coming. Not just any title, but actually Black Ops 4, that it was going to be called Black Ops 4, and that he confirmed that it was going to be a modern era Call of Duty. So this guy, again, he follows the trends. He, I would assume, also maybe even has some connections behind the scenes, but we're not going to assume that. But obviously it's someone who spends their entire time looking at the way that the different games and the different, you know, genres go through. And he said that it was going to be Black Ops 4, which is very interesting, because if you consider this, Treyarch basically said, yo, we're done with this, it's a trilogy, Black Ops series is done, it was 1, 2, and 3, and we're done. They even did that with the storyline where it kind of concluded, it's all good to go. But this analyst says that it's going to be Black Ops 4 because of the brand recognition. What this means is, you know, obviously more people people know about the Black Ops series than if they started a completely new series altogether. So even if they made a game called Black Ops 4, but they also made, say, you know, an alternate idea, and they called it, like, let's just say, you know, Call of Duty Boots on the Ground. Let's just say that they called it Call of Duty Boots on the Ground. Well, Call of Duty Black Ops 4 would sell way more than Call of Duty Boots on the Ground, even though they're both made by Treyarch technically. That one would sell more because of the brand recognition. People would say, yo, I love Black Ops 3 or Black Ops 2 or Black Ops 1. I'm gonna buy Black Ops 4. And so, you know, it kind of is an interesting scenario here where if Treyarch goes with Black Ops 4, they're gonna kind of go back on the whole trilogy idea. Obviously, it would be a business move. Or are they going to stick to their guns and actually just end it as a trilogy and start a completely new IP? It's Treyarch, so regardless of if it's Black Ops 4 or Call of Duty Boots on the Ground, it's going to sell like hotcakes. But again, you gotta see, is Activision gonna try to push them and be like, yo, we gotta call this Black Ops 4 because we need some extra sales? So we'll definitely see. I think regardless, it's gonna do insane in sales, but we'll definitely see if it's gonna be Black Ops 4 or a completely new IP. Alright, so that is pretty much it for the old stuff. I did make a video, I'd say 4 or 5 days ago, where we talked about David Vonderhaar doing that thing again where he tweets out and then deletes stuff. He tweeted out basically talking about how in the studio, some of the doors had pictures of the meme that people are posting. Basically, they go to public events, whether it's like a live TV or, you know, like wrestling or like at a talk show, and there'll be people holding signs that say remaster Mob of the Dead. And basically, he went into that and mentioned that they was on the doors for the Zombies developers and how they were aware of this. People took this and were like, yo, this means Mob of the Dead Remastered is coming, it's coming, it's coming. So people were freaking out. And then David Vonderhaar deleted that tweet soon after. So I don't know if Treyarch was like, yo, you're confusing people, or if they were saying, yo, you're like letting out stuff you're not supposed to. But David Vonderhaar did delete it, and that was honestly the most recent piece of news that we have gotten here for Call of Duty Black Ops 4 / Call of Duty 2018. Again, we don't know the name, but I'm just saying BL4 because it's the most brand recognition I can come up with. So let me know what you guys think about this down in the comments section below. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it. This was a recap of everything that we know that is related to Treyarch and Call of Duty 2018. If it was informative, if you enjoyed it, make sure you guys smash a like on the video. It does help out and it is very much appreciated. And if you are new to the channel, if you want to see even more content like this, if you enjoy informative info, news for Call of Duty and Fortnite content, obviously make sure you guys do subscribe so you don't miss a single upload, and turn on notifications by hitting that little bell icon so you don't miss a single upload when I do upload. If you guys want to support the channel directly, feel free to join my sponsor squad. You get awesome perks like early content, exclusive videos, a special badge that shows up on the comments of live streams and all of my videos, and it's a great way to support the channel. Huge shout out to all of my sponsors here towards the end. But thank you guys so much for watching the video. Follow me on Twitter, and I also do have a gaming and second channel, links to those down below. I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.